I'd like to welcome the Partridge family. Normally I would say welcome to South Florida, but this is already home for some of you, so I guess it's welcome back. But this has been it's been a very educational process these last couple of weeks. As I was traveling, I read this quote that resonated with me that kind of summarizes what we were trying to do here. Effective leaders are effective not because of one thing they do, but the cumulative effect of everything they do. At the end of the day, we were looking for a CEO. We were looking for a leader of this football program. There were certain prerequisites that when Dennis and I first sat down that we were not going to waver on. The person who was going to be our head football coach had to have three very important things. Number one, integrity. We're not going to satisfy. This university deserves the absolute best with that. Number two, a commitment to the development and the well-being of student athletes. We needed to find someone who truly, truly cared about young people and developing them and using Florida Atlantic University and the sport of football to teach life lessons. Third, we needed leadership. 7 days a week, 12 months a year, 365 days. We needed someone with a vision for a program, the ability to create a plan to achieve that vision, the wherewithal to bring a staff together that can develop young people, and really have the profound understanding that the impact the sport of football has on a campus and has on young people. Before I bring Charlie up here, I want to give a couple quick thank yous. One, obviously, to President Crudell. Throughout this whole process, he's been a great confidant, advisor. When I needed a pick-me-up, he was always there to tell me, reaffirm that his faith in me and going through this deal. Anthony Barber and Abdul Moberry, on a moment's notice, they changed their schedule for me just to meet with certain people. And I appreciate all your counsel and advice throughout this process. Brian Wright, for what he and that football program did for 4 weeks or for the last month of the season. I've told everyone that 2013 football program it will be a team that's near and dear to our hearts for a long time, and the work that Brian did and that coaching staff did, this university will always be in debt to them. On a personal note, my friends at Ohio State, Gene Smith and Urban Meyer, they counseled me. They gave me a lot of guidance in how to set a profile for this job and what we needed for our next coach. Jim Tressel at the University of Akron, another great confidant. I'm fortunate in my experiences. I can go to a couple people that I define as experts to help me really put together a profile of what this program needs, and more importantly, the type of person we needed. Also, George Smith. I don't know if George made it here, but George, the head coach at St. Thomas Aquinas, or excuse me, the athletic director at Thomas Aquinas. Urban told me when I met with him, if you don't know George Smith, you might as well pack up your bags and go home. But George, I met with him one time, and he came in my office the next day, and he offered his help, and I probably ran 20 to 30 names by George, and it never got in the newspaper. So to meet with someone with that type of integrity on the spot, George, you're one in a million. I can't thank you enough for all your help with going through this process. So we committed to going through a process. We committed to finding the best person for Florida Atlantic University. Really, that process really started the Saturday after the regular season ended. Ironically, the first person I had a unofficial shake a hand, let's talk and let's meet with was Charlie Partridge. And I left that meeting and I was like, wow, this guy wants this job. If you see how we profiled some of our coaches, I see John McCormack here. I always tell people John McCormack sets the bar of what our coaches are here at FAU. He wants to be here. He wants to build something extraordinary here. This is home for him. The quality of kids he recruits, the relationships with the high school coaches he has here, he kind of gives us a walking blueprint of something special can be done at Florida Atlantic University. So when I met with Charlie, I called our search firm consultant right away, and I said, I think my greatest challenge here is going to be, as I told Dennis earlier, is we're going to have a lot of people with a lot of experiences that are going to pop off this conversation train I'm going to have, and we're going to have a tough decision to make here. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't a tough decision. That process led me through the following Sunday after championship Saturday. We had some scheduling quirks. Dennis was out of town for a couple days, and we had commencement, so that kind of created a natural pause in what we're trying to do. But at the end of the day, we are fortunate. Rarely in these processes, you end up with the exact person you want in the exact moment we need him at the perfect university for him and his family. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome again Julie, Alexa, and Kylie. Julie and Charlie we can't thank you enough for choosing to raise your family here in Palm Beach County and Boca Raton at Florida Atlantic University. You are part of a wonderful family here that cares about you guys and will care about your kids. You see all the support in your room. We got a lot of staff, a lot of coaches here, a lot of university staff. That shows you the commitment this university has to your family and this football program. But without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our new head football coach, Charlie Partridge. Let's take a picture with all right. So here we go.
It's all yours.
All right. Good morning. How's everybody doing? That's my way of gathering myself, if you haven't figured that out. A tremendous honor. This is a big moment for me personally. I'm trying not to look down in the front row because I want to keep control of my emotions here as I think about my family and some dear friends that are here in the front row. But to be named the 4th head football coach at Florida Atlantic University is a tremendous honor. Couldn't be prouder to be your next head football coach, and I think this is an exciting time. Obviously an exciting time for me personally. I think it's also an exciting time for the future of Florida Atlantic football. And I say that not just because I'm being named your new head football coach. What I saw through this process, obviously always had an interest in this program. It's home, and I see tremendous potential. But to meet some of the people that are tied into this program and their passion for how we move forward is a huge part of why I'm so excited about where we can go from here. You guys, many of you know this, I grew up 20 miles from here. To give you some scope, I grew an easy bike ride from the swap shop down in Broward County. So that'll give you a little bit of scope. Grew up watching the Dolphins play in the Orange Bowl with my dad and my brother. I remember many playoff games, and I remember them beating the New York Jets when A.J. Dewey made an interception and my dad and brother went to the bathroom, but I stayed. So many memories here in South Florida, and left about 22 years ago, and to have the chance to come back here is beyond description. So I graduate high school and take a pretty remarkable journey for me personally. Went away to a small school, Drake University in Iowa, and it was the perfect fit for me. Didn't recognize it at the time, but it's exactly where I belonged. At that point, I figured out I know where I want to be. I know what I want to do. I want to be a teacher. That's my passion. That's what you're looking at right here, is someone who loves to teach, who loves to have an impact on young men and young people alike. And what I realized through the course of my career up to this point is you can do that in college football. The growth of a young man from 18 to 22 cannot be measured. And for me to have an opportunity to lead a program and make a difference in people's lives during that time frame here at Florida Atlantic is why I got into this business, without a shadow of a doubt. So I go away to Drake University, and I've been very fortunate. I've had the chance to work at, I coached high school up there. I worked at Iowa State. I go over and I work in Illinois. I work in Pittsburgh. I work back in Wisconsin. So all these themes is we kept getting closer and closer to Santa Claus, right, girls? Okay, and growing up down here, I didn't see snow until I was almost 18 years old. To finally be able to give that snowblower and shovels away, I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about that. So very, very excited. So right now at this point, we're gonna build on what Coach Snellenberger started in 2001. Coach Snellenberger, I recognize the legend that he is. I know that he was on that 72 team. I didn't have the chance. I got a chance to just talk to him. I was going to ask him if he does actually tip the champagne every time the last undefeated NFL team loses. I'm betting that he does. But to follow what he has started here, with the foundation he's built, followed by the staff that went on an amazing run the last 4 games, I recognize what you guys did under very, very trying circumstances, and all the players, incredible job. So to build on that foundation, we're very, very excited, and can't wait to get moving as far as we go. Now, what's inevitable at these things, and unfortunately, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit, because this is where I get into thank yous. And about halfway through, you're going to hear music like you would at the Oscars, and they're going to try and pull me off. But for a guy like me to come where I was, to be standing at this podium, I had to have had a lot of help on the way. So please bear with me. Starting with Julie, Alexa, and Kylie. What you have done for me, you can't put into words. Julie's been there with me when I drove the bus. I actually had a CDL and drove the bus for Drake University, it's true. When I lined the fields, we spent our first anniversary on the floor of a football office because at that level they don't move you. They don't have temporary housing, and she's been there with me from the beginning. So I love all three of you more than you will ever know. Thank you for being here, and I'm excited. Are you excited? Girls, what sound does an owl make? What sound? No, I thought they might do it. But they're extremely excited to be around Grandpa. Grandpa's now 20 miles away from where I live, finally. And in 1991, when I went away to college and created some distance, now we're back. And your granddaughters are right here. And that's a big moment. And to look at my dad in the front row and know what he's done to give me and my brother a chance to have the life that we have, it's beyond description. And a proud union carpenter who always thought about the people around him first. We know that, and we love you, and I'm glad you're here. To my brother, John, his wife, Darcy, and his daughter, Brooke, made the trip down from Atlanta to come back home here to South Florida. So glad you're here. Well, you know, to get to this point, couldn't have done it without your support and your friendship, and our friendship continues to grow the older we get, which is pretty awesome. So couldn't thank you enough. The best man at my wedding, John Bobshever, went to high school together. John, you helped raise me to become what I am as well. To the high school coaches in this area who have given me your trust, have given me the opportunity to earn your trust. From George Smith, former head coach, current AD at St. Thomas. Roger Harriet, current head coach at University School. I see Ryan Schneider in the background, who's currently an assistant at U School. I see Kevin Beard. Thank you for coming, Kevin. I did not know you'd be here. Plantation grad, one of the assistants at University School. I know there was a couple. Aubrey Hill was hoping to make it up here from Carroll City. If there's any others I missed, I can't thank you enough. You've given me the opportunity to earn your trust. And then any kids I've recruited and had the opportunity to then coach at the next level, you know how your players will be treated. And can't thank you enough for giving me that opportunity. From within the profession, first guy I worked for, Gary Swenson, a perennial state championship high school program in Des Moines, Iowa. That was my first job. Then I had a chance to go back and work for Rob Ash, the current head coach at Montana State, was my head coach at Drake, and learned to him what the experience is supposed to be about. Then I went to Iowa State, worked for Dan McCarney, and Dan McCarney became the perfectionist at saying, Charlie, it's not that hard. When I was 26, I thought it was hard. So, Charlie, it's not that hard. So, can't thank Dan McCarney enough for being so hard on me. Paul Rhodes, he was a big reason I got the opportunity to work at Pitt. Walt Harris taught me how to understand the priority of recruiting. Flat out told me that's why he hired me when I was in my 20s. Then I got the chance to work for Dave Wanstead, a tremendous man, knows how to treat people in his organization. He helped me transition, honestly, from a recruiter to a recruiter and coach, and I'm forever grateful for that. Then I had the opportunity to work with a legend like Barry Alvarez. The things I learned from him is he built the University of Wisconsin program from a program that was struggling, no one in the stands, to now one of the powers in college football. Brett Bielema, Jeff Long, current AD at University of Arkansas, thank them more than I can say. Learned a ton from Brett Bielema during his 6 years that me and him were together. And Patrick Strong and Russ Campbell, the guidance you've given me through this process, I can't thank you guys enough. Finally, and that's where the music has already kicked in, so bear with me. To Pat Chun, Athletic Director, can't thank you enough for having the faith in me to lead this program into the future. We'll work together and we'll build this thing from this point forward. We will continue to build it on the foundation that's already created. To Mr. Crudell, thank you so much. It's been great to meet you. I can't wait to continue to work with you in the future. I know your path at this university. I've read everything you've done from director of purchasing and all the different things that you've worked. Me and my brother, we talked about this, an auditor for the state of Florida. Can't figure out if you worked together 18 years ago or not, but excited to work with you. And then Chairman Barber, right here. Been great to meet you. Recognize that you and your family have changed the face of Boca Raton, which is pretty incredible, from a retirement community to where you and your family have created family communities, and that leads right into now where I envision this program going. So thank you. It's exciting to work with you. So now that I've gotten through the thank yous, who am I? What do I believe in? What is all that those people I've worked with and that course that I've taken, where has it brought me to today in 2013? Here's what I've learned over the years is you have to make your family a priority. Okay, have I always done that the right way? No. Have I always been perfect? No. But the amount that I love my family and that our program will feel that with our coaches and their family, they will be around. That's part of it. We believe to lead these young men, they have to see men that love their wives and adore their children. And that's important for us. And the coaches that will be on the staff, their families will be welcome. With that being said, what I want to create on Saturdays here in this stadium right behind us is an atmosphere that welcomes families into the stadium. Let's fill this. Let's make Saturday a part of your day in Boca Raton. Let's make your opportunity to come in here on Saturday and spend your entertainment dollar, which I know down here in South Florida, there's a lot of competitors, and I understand that. But let's build this thing by bringing your family in here and being proud of the Florida products that we're going to put on the field. The only way I've been able to achieve anything is to work hard. I'm not that smart. I just work hard, and I try and be efficient with my time. So try and be efficient with my time, work hard, do right. Time management will be critical as we move forward. The thing about time management is being smart with your time, not just working from 5 in the morning till 2 in the morning. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing what your plan is. What are you going to do during that day? How are you going to spend the next week? How are you going to reach out to the current players, to prospective student athletes, make sure I'm building a rapport in the department, and then potential supporters for our program. The next part of our program to talk about is the recruiting piece of it. And recruiting really, in my mind, encompasses 2 parts, starting with the obvious. The better your players are, the smarter you are as a football coach, right? So if we can recruit and get some of the best world-class athletes out of South Florida and Florida at large to join our program, then we can put together something special here. And like I said, I've had the opportunity to earn the trust of those coaches in this area. And by being around the players that have had an opportunity to go where I've been, the coaches know how they will be treated. And parents, you'll know that as well. Also, recruiting support for the program. We will embrace the community. We want the community to embrace us. We will reach out to groups in the area. Our players will be visible. We'll continue to build on that foundation that's already been built, and we'll make sure that Boca understands that we're here to continue to build that rapport. Finally, player development. It's critical. The best programs that I've been a part of understand that, yes, you have to recruit great athletes, but they have to be developed in those 3, 4, or 5 years that they're in your program. On the field, academically, and socially. That comes with your strength coach. That comes with teaching them how to eat. That comes with teaching them how to manage their time. That comes with making sure that they understand that academics is a huge priority. Things as simple as teaching them how to manage social media. I embrace Twitter. I think some of you already know that. Continue to teach our kids that it's a powerful tool, and we handle it the right way. That's one example of how we continue to develop our kids and make them leaders in society. Because at the end of the day, every one of us who got in coaching for the right reason, that's why we're in it, is to create positive young men, and that carries over to winning on the field. Things to expect. What can you expect on the field? I recognize I've been at Wisconsin the last 5 years and then followed by Arkansas, where we were in 2-back offense and we were pound it and ground it. I also know where I'm at. There's a tremendous amount of athletes. We will be based out of a spread style offense, and running will be a priority. Defensively, We will be sound in our fundamentals. We will be sound in how we defend whichever offense that we're seeing in Conference USA, and we will build it around having a sound scheme to allow the kids to play fast, keep it simple, and make sure they know where they are to go so they can play the best they can. Special teams, been heavily involved with special teams, the third phase of football throughout my entire career. We'll continue to do so. We'll hire someone to help run the special teams, but I'll be heavily involved, which I think being a head coach, you can have a tremendous impact in that area. So now you have a vision of what I am. You have a vision of what I want our program to be. Now the thing is to get started. Like I said, you better be efficient with your time, right? So to get started, the first thing is to put a staff together. Okay, like I said before, I recognize that what the staff did through tough times is they did a great job. They won 4 games, and I'm going to get the chance to speak with those guys here in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's no secret that signing day is right around the corner. The good news is we are in the middle of an extended dead period. The NCAA has changed the rules. We have until mid-January until we're actually allowed to be out on the road. So we are in a state of urgency, not emergency. Gives me a time to put together a staff that we know can be on the same page and work together moving forward. Current team, again, like I said, very excited about the accomplishments that those guys have made. I've had a chance to certainly read through bios and watch a little bit of film. We had a common opponent earlier in the year where I got a chance to watch FAU when we were getting ready to play Auburn, and very excited about the pieces that are in place right now. So anxious to get a chance to build on that. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to visit with the team. They're done with finals, and they will be back in early January. However, I know a lot of you guys are seeing this online, either by stream. There might be a few in the room. My door is open. I can't wait to meet you guys. I'm excited to start that relationship with you players. Come seek me out. To Boca in South Florida, embrace us. Embrace what we're going to build. We're going to build a program that you can be proud of. We're going to build a program with family values. We're going to build a program based on Florida and Florida first. Thankfully, we're in a state where there's as many athletes as you could ever dream of. To the high school coaches, again, thank you for your trust. I wouldn't be here without it. Thank you for your support. I'd have no chance if it weren't for you guys that are in this room and the high school coaches at large. Please remind your players as we move forward, you know how they will be treated by us and our staff. Have no doubt about that. That will not change. To all those people who have reached out to me, they don't give you a binder on what happens to your phone when you're named a head coach the first 24 hours. Asked my wife to try and help me keep it under 100 text messages and had no shot. So please, to every person that's reached out to me, I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Please be patient with me. And then finally, I mean it when I say this, to work and follow a man like Coach Schnellenberger and the foundation he's built and the staff that followed him and the great job he did at the end of the season, it's an honor. And Coach Schnellenberger, I'll do everything I can to learn everything I can from him while we have the opportunity to be together. And I'm going to steal a phrase from him that he used at Louisville. We are on a collision course with championships. The only variable is the time. Okay? Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
And with that, we can take some questions from the media.
That's easy.
Dieter, I was going to call you anyways.
The process overall, season ends, you have an interim coach in, there's the bowl game questions. Throughout the entire process, you said you talked to Charlie first. How did you come back to him at the end?
Really, I will tell you this. Anyone I talked to face-to-face, they had an incredible reputation in this business, in the coaching business, with those non-negotiables: integrity, commitment to student athletes, and leadership. Really what it came down to, and you know, it was a little bit easier for me to get under the tent with Charlie, with my Big Ten roots. Obviously, I know a lot of people at Wisconsin, so doing homework on him was relatively quick and easy because there really wasn't a lot to do homework on. He is what he is, and you know, he's exactly what you see is actually who he is as a person. But like I said, the first time we met, I knew he was a special guy. And you know, one of the things I wanted, and you guys saw this, we need a coach with presence. You look at all of our, you know, I was talking to Patrick Baker last night at the soccer fields, and I said Charlie's cut from the same cloth that a lot of our coaches that you see around our program. Coach McCormack, Coach Fay, Coach Jay. I mean, we are recruiting a specific type of coach here at FAU. We want difference makers. And Charlie, the second we met, you knew right away he was a difference maker. The more and more we talk philosophy, I have to have a shared value system with the head coach, and these coaches we brought in, we have the same shared value system. So other than that, once you got through all that, then you hear his reputation on the road as a recruiter and what he does with kids and how he wants to build this program. It was a no-brainer. He really separated himself throughout the whole process as the best candidate. And the mere fact, I mean, you know this better than anyone else, the mere fact, you talk about integrity, the mere fact his name was not out anywhere is a testament to, to Charlie and what he stands for. I mean, when we talk about trust, that was probably one of the biggest indicators. We talked, a lot of the guys I talked to, we talked about, I need to be able to trust you. And the mere fact you never heard his name anywhere is a testament to Charlie.
How important was it, I'm sure it was for Charlie, but for you, that he is basically a local and grew up here?
Well, we put a profile together, and at the end of the day, Charlie fit that profile to a T. Is it a bonus that he's from here? Absolutely. We don't have to. He doesn't have. He got off the plane. He doesn't need a map. He doesn't have to put in roots here. He's already rooted here. So, there is a difference when you're coming home. I recognize that. He made no bones about it. I talked to a lot of coaches beyond face-to-face, and there's a lot of people in this business that want to be head coaches. Charlie Partridge wants to be the head coach at Florida Atlantic University, and that's one of the key things that we had to have with our next coach.
You talking about the final offer? Yeah. Very surreal. Just to think about the course of my career and the process, meeting with Pat, but excitement beyond description. And I say that not just because I'm a head coach, but because of the quality men that I met during the process. When I'm sitting across part of the process with some of the most successful business people in the world, have an opportunity to meet those people, it's a big deal. And not just the excitement because I'm a head coach or coming home, but the excitement about the potential for this program and hopefully where we can take it in the future.
When did you guys start the deal?
Really finished late Sunday night is probably when things came together, and officially signed the papers about 45 minutes ago. Right? So.
Charlie, did you first approach Pat with, I'm interested in this job? Did Pat come and seek you? How did that first meeting come about?
Honestly, in this business, a lot of times there's people that tend to recommend, hey, I think Charlie might be good for this, and people call me and say, hey, Charlie, would you be interested? And the answer was, of course. So when we actually made direct contact is a little bit of a blur. I've heard the phrase, you're drinking out of a fire hydrant, which lasts 4 to 8 hours is a true statement. So a little bit of a blur on the exacts, but pretty soon it became clear that we may have some mutual interest, and then we made some indirect contact, and it kind of built from there.
There's a pretty big gap, though, between today and that first contact.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts throughout that process, knowing that this is a job you wanted very much, and that there are other candidates for it, and it's kind
Sure.
of a limbo state.
Well, obviously, a ton of excitement for the opportunity to speak with him early during that, at the beginning of that gap. But quite honestly, I had a job to do for the University of Arkansas, and my commitment and loyalty at that time was to Coach Bielema and Jeff Long and to do my job and to do it the right way. So tried to be patient, tried to bury all those emotions as deep as I could, and when I got the call for the second opportunity to speak with these guys, I was beyond excited.
Did you have any sense before that second call that you might be the guy?
Prior to the second opportunity to interview, I really didn't, no. I knew that Pat was going to, after meeting Pat, the thing I recognized is he's going to go through his due diligence. He's going to make sure that he gets the right guy. I often tell recruits all the time when I'm in a home visit, we get pretty good at this. And I know Pat was going to make sure that, one, by checking my references, and two, by testing me with phone calls, that he was going to find out what he saw that first meeting is what I really am. So I knew he was working through his due diligence. I just had to try and stay patient.
How was your recruiting that you've been doing with Arkansas this season? Can that translate to what you're going to have to do in the next month?
Well, obviously, I'll respect any commitments that the University of Arkansas has from down here. Can't speak, as you know, by rule specifically about any player. But when you're in and out of high schools, you know about prospects that you hear about, and to say I don't have an awareness of some of the players out there that I think have the opportunity to help us here at FAU, obviously I wouldn't be telling the truth. I mean, I have some awareness of some players, and I'm going to use all the resources I have with some of the coaches in this area, and as we put together the staff to move forward from there.
Have you had the opportunity to talk with any of the current commitments?
Have not yet. Again, you know, with the deal really truly being signed and inked to paper 45 minutes ago, wanted to make sure there was no issues. I'd hate to call a commitment and then the deal not be real. So wanted to make sure everything was real before I reached out to any commitments or any current players or some of the supporters of the program. So that rubber hits the road here in a few minutes.
How much help is it that FAU now has a NFL star, and Alfred Morris, that came from this program, the first guy in the recruiting process?
Sure. I mean, for all the former players at FAU, including him, who obviously had great rookie honors and did a great job as a running back in the NFL, the doors are open. Can't speak to how that relationship has been in the past, but including him and all former players that want to be a part of this program, I am accessible and I am transparent, and I would love for you guys to be a part of this thing. But certainly to have that kind of promotability, to have that young man in the NFL is a huge testament to what Coach Schnellenberger and the former staff have been able to build here. You guys are easy. For now. Well played. I know.
Ignore him.
You talked about recruiting, I'm talking about now scheduling.
Yep.
Are you still online to play Wisconsin in a couple of years?
We are. 2017, is that inaccurate? Yeah, 2017. Yes, we are.
And do you have any other teams that we can target to play?
Honestly, that's something that I think me and Pat will work together on at this point. I know we've got some non-conference games scheduled out here in the future, but that's something for me and Pat to work on together, I believe.
Do me a favor.
Okay.
A team from South Bend.
Don't want to play them, or you do?
Do not.
Okay.
All right.
Noted.
We're good? One back there.
Right now, I'm looking forward to spending some time with those guys here in the next 24 to 48 hours and getting a chance to see how we move forward with the staff from there.
Do you have any prior relationship with anyone?
There's certainly a number of those guys that I've met. You know, a number of them certainly know who they are, and look forward to visiting with those guys here in the near future. All right. Thank you very much. Great to be here. Thank you.